Hello, Social Catfish. I'm Peter, and I just really want to say thank you. Sorry, it's a bit wobbly because the car's moving around, but just to say thank you for your site, your videos make a big difference, especially when you research types of scams, the way people might behave, the type of people might be involved. You know, and potentially it could be anyone. It could be a scammer. And it also becomes more common in all sorts of things, like getting texts about things, parcels, all sorts of stuff. But with romance, I think there's always that edge people think to manipulate people's emotions to gain leverage over it. And it'd probably be there's two real ways to influence a person. That's fear and love. So either you scare a person by telling them they owe a load of money and things like that, or either that you win their trust and then manipulate them. But it's not been the first time I've encountered and used the tools and it sort of revealed information about someone, and I was able to write to the real person and just to say that to them, and then they said, yeah, you know, basically you've got to be careful, and you know, thanks for writing to me or something like that. You just say basically take care. And the worst thing about the scammers is they tell you sort of misery stories whereby, you know, they haven't got any other family, or they've had a lot of trouble in their life or whatever, which is completely untrue. You'll look it up and you'll realise they've actually got parents and very innocent people involved, and that's why you have to also be mindful of that they're, like, say, victims, and support them as victims as well. So my recent one, it was from a international dating site, let's put it that way, and I started waiting to someone for a month. Something was there was a few red flags, and so I pulled away and didn't have any contact with her for about a good 10 days. I said I just need a break from it all and stuff like that. But the person continued writing to me. So it was probably about 13 days. I just went back on something like Telegram, and I saw they wrote 30 messages, and so I decided to write back to them because I read what was on there, and I thought, blimey, maybe this person is real. You know, even though they're sort of like starting to edge towards needing money and like to come and see you, and with everything going on in Europe, you know, you can use Bitcoin, and I know about cryptocurrency. Because I like to do a bit of investment myself. But usually you find the scammers don't know as much about it as, you know, if they were sort of a user, they basically just cash out all the time. So that's what they do with the money. It goes to exchange, they cash out, they're not holding on to things like Bitcoin. It's just a quick way of transferring the money and trying to hide what's going on with it. And they also use wallets. They set up new wallets, so you look at the transaction history, there might be nothing there. So, but then for some of them they haven't hid their history, and so you can, because they haven't started a fresh wallet for the scam, it's quite easy to set up a wallet, and then they're traceable to what they've done with that money, or how much is in their wallet, you know, these sorts of things. So yeah, I was very glad because basically I used the tools. I only needed it for the trial subscription, but then I do dip in and out, so if I need it more regular, just at the moment I just want some time out to emotionally heal, I think, a little bit, because as you get into it you invest emotionally, and a part of you's gonna be addicted and want to experience whatever will happen, how they make you feel, the fact that they care, the fact they said something that hit the mark emotionally, you know, like you're really important to me, and or anything. If it just touches that, now I found you, I don't want to let you go, you know, it could be any kind of romantic mix in there. Yeah, so I think they just keep using certain tactics, and eventually if they hit the mark, you know, then they've got some leverage. But they also use this kind of hot cold method where they bring up business, like, oh yeah, well, you know, I really need this money, or I need this to come and see you, or whatever, and then they use you know, they might go quiet from your end, and then they will be saying they will love bomb you basically. And also using strange videos. So the other thing is having no sound in some of the videos, or the videos have no context to what the message is about. That's another thing that might be used. Because you know, I've just shown you some sort of makeup video or something. I just did this for you, and you're thinking, well, why would I want to see you put mascara on, you know, or dry your hair or whatever? Because it's just something someone's ripped off a social media site. So I used the tools. I've looked through a lot of things, and the other thing with scammers is they're quite happy to send lots of pictures. So let them, if you're a little bit unsure, I mean, this is what from my sort of perspective, or anybody who's sort of listening to this listen to this video, is let them use them pictures, because what they're doing is they're aiding you along the process of discovering who the real person is. And so you can search the different pictures, or what other information I might have given you, like email address, or some other context, some other look at phone numbers or whatever you're using, to get to the point where you can identify if the person's genuine, what their digital footprint is, and then also mitigate your risk. It's difficult if you're quite involved, but I think once you've made that step in the wrong direction and you start handing out money to somebody that you haven't really had any sort of contact much with, then it becomes easier for the scammer. It's like a tug of war. You've just given a bit more rope to them to pull, so it might be harder for you to pull back. So you have to mitigate your risk. Like, you know, if it's money that you would have wasted on something else, I don't know, a pizza or something, then it's not the end of the world. But if it's something you would have used to pay for a whole car, or taking out loans and stuff, then you basically need to take a rain check. It's not worth it, because the risk and the reward just don't match. It's just too wild. It's like someone say, oh, I've got millions here and I'll pay you back, and all these things I see in these videos. It's like and also same patterns that reappear, like oil. I work on an oil rig and all these sorts of stuff. For me, that wasn't obviously the case. It was just a case of what's happening in Europe, and that I can't travel there. And on a few occasions I've been looking to travel to a different country, and that hasn't worked out, because once I've done the background check on the person, if it hasn't tallied up right, the information, then definitely do not go, because I don't know what situation I'm walking into. It won't be much of a fun holiday. I always planned a B for the holiday as well, plan B for it. Because if you did turn up somewhere and the person wasn't there, you want to make sure you're in a safe location, and that you have your options for what you want to do there, because the person suddenly is not available or busy and other things like that. What else was I going to say? So yeah, it was very useful. I looked up the person. I went for a social site called VK. I couldn't message the daughter, who I was in contact with. I messaged the mother, because they were both in the same picture, so it brought up the same picture on their social media profile. But it managed to get the daughter's face. Don't want the card come out. So it managed to pull up the daughter's face, and she was with the mother, and then I was able to go for some sort of directory on the mother, and then I found her social media contact, and then I wrote a message. I translated it into Russian. So yeah, just explain the situation. I provided them with details like a phone number of the scammer, what telegram they're using. I did also ask, when he said about Bitcoin, I said, well, give me the address and also give me your home address. And they said, oh, well, don't say that it's in Russia, because they might not let you send the Bitcoin, which I haven't sent me Bitcoin. But it was interesting they said that, because if you send it to wallet, you wouldn't know anyway. Which is all very interesting. So yeah, so there's a big thanks really, because at least I've closed it, and now it's just a case of healing. I only need to use the tools for sort of the trial period myself, but obviously if I was looking harder, or just need some time out basically, when I feel like more up for it, or if I start communicating with someone, it becomes a bit more serious, then I'll do all the background research on it before I get to the point when I start feeling like I'm, being drawn in a bit. otherwise, the only thing to do is to take time out. Take time out to reflect. Just close down the app. Don't go anywhere near it. You know, it's difficult if you mix your basically day-to-day social media with someone. Like if you've got an email address, you'd have dedicated to personal contacts. If you've got like a day-to-day email that anyone uses, then it's very hard to pull yourself away from that person if they're constantly spamming your inbox with things, and you have to go in there to read stuff. And also just the psychology, just logging in and seeing it. It's basically it's a part of the addiction. So your heart rate's gone up. Wonder what messages I got. You know, I hope they didn't write to me, or maybe they did. I wonder what they said. You know, it's that little bit of a battle going in the mind. Which isn't really good, to be honest, because that's the time you need to pull away, because it hurts not to read it, and also it hurts to think about that you're going to get used. That's not healthy. Basically, you've allowed yourself to become unhealthy so that they can manipulate you, basically. And it's sad, I mean, because it's not just like men doing it, there is women, because I had voicemail from the woman with a sort of, either it is Russian or a fake Russian accent, and then I had a video with the voice was slightly different in Russian from the woman. I was able to do Google Translate, but they sort of even cut down the video. She just said "paka paka," which was like "bye bye," which was quite funny. And so actually, after I researched it, then I could say I was quite nice about it. I just said, look, you know, I know that you're not this person. I wish you luck in your life. You know, take care. Bye bye. and then I've just shut down the Telegram for now. Just logged off it. Which is, you need to separation, space to heal, and then you need to figure out what you consider healthy in a relationship, and that's really what you should be looking for. And then move into a friend zone if you communicate with anyone, just want to stay as friends, because otherwise it can mess you up. Anyway, take care. Thank you, Social Catfish, for all the work you've done. It's brilliant. Carry on the good work and all the videos. Cheers. Bye.